What's going on, guys? My name is Derek. Welcome to my channel, Euro Superbike Life, or ESBK Life for short. Today we are putting some bolt-on parts on my Ducati Panigale Speciale. However, before we get to that, I talked to you guys about my Patreon page, and I wanted to let you know and get this out of the way early, that my Patreon page is up. I'll throw the link on the screen and I'll put it in the description. So head on over there. What I'm going to be doing on the Patreon page is that videos that I post here on YouTube, I'm going to post them early for my Patreon subscribers, so you'll get early access to videos that I post here. And then I'll also be posting some Patreon-only content over there on the Patreon page. There will be longer videos, there'll be more in-depth videos, and there'll be some behind-the-scenes stuff, and things that I normally wouldn't post there, I will post there for my Patreon subscribers. I'm also going to do some merch, so as soon as I can get a few minutes away from real world, there'll be merch over there as well. Check out the link on the screen. Head on over to Patreon. For as little as $3, you can get it on this. And like I said, guys, I'm doing this because it helps the channel and it helps me post more content for you guys. And if we get enough subscribers on some of these bike builds that I'm doing, I'll be able to do exactly what those other more established YouTubers, you know who they are. They like to do bike builds and then give them away. And I'd love to do that. So if we can get some Patreon subscribers, a little bit of help for the channel, then I can do that for you guys. But that's what we plan on doing on the Patreon page. So head on over there, link on the screen and in the description. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to talk about my recently acquired 2019 Ducati Panigale Speciale. And like I said in that previous video, this bike doesn't need a whole lot, just a few bolt-ons. And let's take a look at what we're going to be installing. Okay, so over here on my bench, these are all the things that we are going to be installing. I'd say this is 90% of everything that I'm going to do to this bike. There's still a few things that aren't here. A carbon fiber piece, my wheels, and my Futurist Moto LED turn signal block-offs. Those still aren't here, but everything else is here. So let's go through the lot and you'll see what we're installing. So first we have my MWR air filter. I like MWR. I've used them in the past, haven't really had any issues with them, except on my 1199 Panigale where I had the race filter and I was using it on the street and that was letting in a little bit too much dust into the air box. But besides that, I've used them on other bikes, no problem with them at all. I have my carbon fiber frame covers in gloss that I told you guys I was going to get. These are from Carbon Vani. You could see that right there. These are from Carbon Vani. And you'll notice that these don't have the traditional, let's go on over here real quick. These don't have the traditional hole that you see right here in the part. That does not exist. That's because this part is meant to be removed. It's held on. We'll see once we get these on the bike. There's a hole there, and there's a hole there where some pins go through, and this slides on. This is meant to be taken on and off, so you don't have to glue these on. So I'm really interested to see how those work. I have my carbon fiber subframe covers, also from Carbon Vani. We have my 520 chain conversion kit and quick change rear sprocket. Basically, all of this stuff is from AEM. So we have our AEM anodized nuts, front sprocket, 3D chain. We have our AEM factory anodized red hub and AEM factory sprocket carrier, titanium fasteners. The black sprocket is there on the bottom. We have our Rizoma brake and clutch reservoirs. So we have front brake and clutch and then rear brake along with the mounting adapters. We have our Ducati spacers, throttle spacers. So that takes up the slack. That is in virtually every Ducati throttle. So you can hear that slack that's in there. And if you compare that to what's on my S1000RR, you'll see that there's no slack whatsoever. So Ducati spacers for those. We have our Evotech quick release fuel cap. And then we have our my CRG bar and mirrors and adapters and the spacers. I actually already have the spacers on the bike here and here. However, I can't install those just yet, because in order to remove those said mirrors and put the CRGs on the bar ends, I need something to go here for turn signals, because the turn signals are in the mirrors here. So I'm going to be installing the Futurist Moto LED block-offs. But until they come in, and they're not here yet, I can't install those. So we're not going to do all of these. I'm not going to install all of these parts in this episode. We'll probably just do the air filter and the side covers initially, and then we'll have a separate episode for the 520 chain conversion, and then probably another episode where we do the reservoirs, and then finish up with the probably the bar and mirrors. We'll probably do the spacers and the fuel tank quick release cap in a separate episode. But hopefully by the time we get to our CRG bar and mirrors, the Futurist Moto parts will be here. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the BMW off our K&L lift and get the Speciale on it. So let's do that now. We'll set that down. See, I got my chesty cam on here today. I've had this attachment for quite a while. I don't know why I haven't used it in the past, but I'm going to use it now. So fairings. So everything, all the fairings can be removed with a 3mm and 4mm Allen wrench. So here we go. 4mm, 3mm. So first, on this bike, Ducati decided to literally like lock in all of said fairings. It's kind of crazy how they did it, but they did it. So we're going to start. You don't necessarily have to remove the seat, but I know we have to remove the seat for some other things. So I'm going to remove the seat. 4mm. You pull the tabs back here, and it exposes the screws behind these guys. So there's one. I wish that would just stay on. I gotta find a setting. That way I can just look down and see. All right, pull that up and off, seat comes out. We'll set that aside. We'll grab our 3mm next, and we'll remove our battery cover box. So let me come around on the other side. So our battery cover box is held on. Remove the key. Toss that over there. So there are 4 3mm screws going here, 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 and here. Then there are 2 plastic alignment dowels that Ducati loves to do. They push into 2 rubber grommets. One is located roughly about here, and then the other is here. And then there is, we'll call it hook and loop, because Velcro is a manufacturer, and the process or the items they use is hook and loop tape. So I can't call it Velcro, so we'll call it hook and loop. And there are 2 hook and loop items right here. So what you do is you remove these 4 screws, you lift up so you can feel that the hook and loop is disengaged, and then you lift up both from the back end and the front. You lift straight up here to remove this dowel. Do not wrench like this, or wrench like that, or wrench like that. It has to come straight up, and then the whole thing comes off. If you do it any other way, you'll break these dowels and you'll be miserable. And it's a Ducati, so, and it's a Speciale, so it's a specially painted part, so you'll be paying for it. Here's one alignment pin, here's the other, there's the hook and loop, and you can see, like I said, they push right down into these rubber grommets here. So lift straight up. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is going to finish removing, let me see here. Let me grab this. we're going to finish removing the fairing. So we're going to move this canard or inner fairing, if you will. Same thing on the other side. We're going to pop those off. Then we're going to take this off, this matte frame cover, which I don't particularly like. And we're going to replace them with our carbon body parts. However, the problem here with our subframe covers is there's a screw right about here. There's some hook and loop here that holds it on. You just sort of pull that off. You can see that there. But there's a screw right about here. And the only way to get to that screw is from the back side. And that means we have to remove our tank. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove these inner fairings here. So one is just held on with a push grommet here. And the other one has a screw on the bottom here. So once we pull this off, we have to get up there with what I believe is an 8mm. We may need one of our long Allen head keys, but let's check it out. So we'll just pull this off here like that. All right, there we go. Move to the other side. Do the same thing. Okay, so all of the side fairings are off. Again, not a terribly difficult job, but some nuances. They pin the left and right fairing together up here. You have these push pins here and then a screw in underneath. Again, with some hook and loop, hook and loop, hook and loop. So a bunch of stuff like that makes it challenging, not terribly difficult, but a little challenging. Okay, so now we need to remove these hideous, in my opinion, matte carbon fiber pieces. Now they're just glued on. So what I'm going to do is I have a, there's a little plastic tool used for popping up plastic pop rivets that hold on plastic fairings, typically under the car or something like that. But I'm going to use this to sort of pry this up so that way I don't actually damage it. But I can feel the silicone adhesive underneath. And there we go. And this is a Shift Tech part. I'll be selling those soon because I have no need for it. And you can see that there's some, silicone crap on here. I'll probably see if I could scrape that off. But let's go on to the other side and do the exact same thing. And there we go. Whew. Just trying to see, there's a Shift Tech sticker on here that was over someone else's sticker, and I was just trying to see it. It looks like it's actually a full 6 part. That is interesting. Look at that. So if you pull the Shift Tech sticker off there, this is actually a full 6 part. So I just got a scraper here with the dull blade. I'm just scraping this stuff off here. It's important that you probably use a dull blade to do this, unless you won't really want to scratch your frame. All right, and I'll repeat the process on the other side. Okay. All right, so we are done with that. So now we'll grab this stuff, clean it up, and we'll grab some compressed air and clean all of this off. All right. Okay. Go on over to the other side. Clean that up, and that just makes sure that we don't get any of those silicone pieces down anywhere near any hot components where it could melt and cause future problems. Okay. All right, so the next thing we want to do, let me think. Do I want to remove the tank right now? Yeah, let's do that. Let's, I'll stop all 3 cameras. Actually, there's only 2 running, so I'll turn this guy back on. We'll sync them all, and then we'll start removing the tank. How about that? Yes, let's do that. Here's the cam. So we have a few brackets. Let me lower this down a little bit more. All right. So 5 mil here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have 4 mil here. So let's remove these. All right. And our tank is off. And let me see. So now we can see to remove these plastic covers here and here, it looks like 3 mil here, probably 3 mil on the other side as well. So we'll get those now. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's a wrap for this first episode while we're working on my Ducati Panigale V4 Speciale. I was doing some editing of the video, and it was getting really long. This episode was getting long, and I was like, yeah, that's not good. So let's cut this short, and we'll do the install of some of these bolt-on parts in later episodes. One thing of note, I know I glossed over the fairing and the tank removal really quick. If you're looking for details on that or more step-by-step instructional video of how to do those things, those will be posted on my Patreon page in a few days. So don't worry, those are still there. In fact, I may just post them on YouTube. I'm not sure, but they will be available. I know I glossed over them pretty quick for this exact reason because, like I said, this video was getting pretty long. But if you're looking for those things, they are available coming soon. But my name is Derek. This is Euro Superbike Life. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, or smash it if you didn't like it. Hit that bell to subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos in the future. And in the meantime, take care, guys.